Running Romex or non-metallic sheath cable directly on sheetrock between lath strips is unsafe and violates the National Electrical Code. The National Electrical Code requires that Romex be enclosed in a raceway, such as conduit or cable tray, or secured to a surface using a listed cable clamp or another approved method. Placing Romex directly on sheetrock without protection from nails or other fasteners poses several hazards. Firstly, nail penetration is a significant risk. Nails holding the lath strips can easily penetrate the Romex insulation, creating a fire hazard and electrical shock risk. Secondly, sheetrock damage can occur. Walking or crawling on the sheetrock can damage the Romex below. Thirdly, vibration can cause problems. Over time, vibrations from the building or occupants can loosen the Romex and cause arcing, which can lead to a fire. To install Romex safely, consider these practices. Firstly, use conduit. Install Romex inside metal or polyvinyl chloride conduit to provide protection from nails and damage. Secondly, use cable clamps. If conduit is not feasible, use listed cable clamps to securely fasten the Romex to the surface of the sheetrock, ensuring it does not touch the nails or lath strips. Thirdly, follow the code. Comply with all applicable National Electrical Code requirements for wire installation and protection. Failure to install Romex safely can result in electrical hazards, code violations, and property damage. Following proper installation practices is crucial to ensure the safety of your home and occupants. To elaborate further on the National Electrical Code compliance, it's essential to understand that the NEC provides specific guidelines for how electrical wiring should be installed to minimize risks. For Romex, which is commonly used in residential wiring, the NEC emphasizes physical protection. This means the cable needs to be shielded from potential damage that could compromise its insulation and create a safety hazard. When you install Romex, think of the potential sources of damage. Nails and screws are a primary concern in finished walls and ceilings, but also consider physical abrasion from movement, contact with abrasive surfaces, and even damage from pests. The NEC addresses these concerns by specifying methods for securing and protecting Romex in various situations. When running Romex through framing members like studs or joists, you are typically required to bore holes at a certain distance from the edge to prevent nails from being driven into the cable. Metal nail plates are used where the cable is closer to the edge than what is allowed. In accessible attics or crawl spaces, the NEC has rules about how Romex must be protected if it runs across the face of framing members. In some cases, running boards or guard strips are needed to prevent physical damage. The specific requirements depend on the voltage of the cable, the type of building, and the location where the cable is installed. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC in your local electrical codes to make sure your installation meets the required standards. If you're not comfortable interpreting the code or performing electrical work safely, it's always best to hire a qualified electrician. They have the training and experience to ensure that your wiring is safe and compliant. Now let's consider the use of conduit in more detail. Conduit provides a robust layer of protection for Romex, making it a suitable option in situations where the cable may be exposed to physical damage or moisture. There are several types of conduit commonly used in residential wiring, including rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing, and flexible metal conduit. Each type has its own advantages and disadvantages in terms of cost, ease of installation, and level of protection. Rigid metal conduit and intermediate metal conduit offer the highest level of protection, but they can be more difficult to work with than other types. Electrical metallic tubing is a lightweight and relatively inexpensive option that is suitable for many indoor applications. Flexible metal conduit can be bent easily, making it a good choice for tight spaces or where the cable needs to be routed around obstacles. When installing Romex in conduit, you'll need to use the appropriate fittings and connectors to ensure that the conduit is properly grounded and that the cable is protected from abrasion. The NEC specifies the types of fittings that are allowed for different types of conduit and applications. It's also important to make sure that the conduit is securely fastened to the building structure to prevent it from moving or becoming damaged. If you choose to use cable clamps to secure Romex, make sure that you select clamps that are specifically listed for use with non-metallic sheared cable. The clamps should be sized correctly for the cable you're using and should be installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. When installing cable clamps, be careful not to damage the Romex insulation. Tighten the clamps just enough to hold the cable securely without crushing it. Also, make sure that the clamps are positioned so that the cable is supported properly and does not sag or droop. In addition to physical protection, the NEC also addresses the proper grounding of electrical systems. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip a circuit breaker or fuse and prevent electrical shock. Romex typically contains a bare or green insulated grounding wire that must be connected to the grounding system at the electrical panel and at each outlet or fixture. Make sure that all grounding connections are tight and secure to ensure that the grounding system functions properly. Another important aspect of electrical safety is proper overcurrent protection. Circuit breakers and fuses are designed to protect wiring from overheating and causing a fire. The size of the circuit breaker or fuse should be matched to the ampacity of the wiring. The ampacity of Romex is determined by the size of the conductors and the type of insulation. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacity of different types of conductors under various conditions. Never use a circuit breaker or fuse that is larger than the ampacity of the wiring. Doing so could overload the wiring and cause a fire. It's also important to protect Romex from moisture. Moisture can corrode the conductors and insulation, leading to electrical shorts and other problems. The NEC specifies requirements for installing Romex in damp or wet locations. In these locations, you may need to use special types of cable that are rated for wet locations or install the cable in conduit. When running Romex outdoors, it's important to protect it from sunlight. Ultraviolet radiation from sunlight can degrade the insulation over time, making the cable more susceptible to damage. The NEC requires that Romex installed outdoors be listed for sunlight resistance or be protected by conduit or other means. Proper labeling of electrical panels and circuits is also important for safety. Each circuit breaker or fuse should be clearly labeled to indicate what it controls. This makes it easier to identify the correct circuit to energize when performing electrical work. It's also a good idea to keep a record of all electrical work that has been done in the home, including wiring diagrams and specifications. This information can be helpful for troubleshooting problems and making future modifications to the electrical system. If you're planning a major electrical renovation, it's a good idea to consult with a qualified electrical engineer. They can help you design a safe and efficient electrical system that meets your needs. An electrical engineer can also perform load calculations to determine the correct size of the electrical service and distribution equipment. This is especially important if you're adding new appliances or equipment that will draw a lot of power. Before starting any electrical work, always disconnect the power to the circuit you'll be working on. Use a voltage tester to make sure that the circuit is energized before touching any wires. It's also a good idea to wear rubber gloves and eye protection when working with electricity. Never work on electrical systems when you're tired or distracted. Always focus on what you're doing and take your time to do it right. If you're not sure about something, don't guess. Consult with a qualified electrician or refer to the NEC. By following these safety precautions, you can minimize the risk of electrical shock and fire and ensure that your electrical system is safe and reliable. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to err on the side of caution. If you're not comfortable performing electrical work yourself, hire a qualified electrician to do it for you. The cost of hiring an electrician is a small price to pay for the safety of your home and family. The National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of standards that covers all aspects of electrical installations. It's updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and safety practices. The NEC is not law in itself, but it's often adopted by state and local governments as part of their building codes. Even if the NEC is not legally binding in your area, it's still a good idea to follow its recommendations. The NEC represents the consensus of experts on how to install electrical systems safely. Following the NEC can help you avoid electrical hazards and ensure that your electrical system meets industry standards. In addition to the NEC, there are other standards and regulations that may apply to electrical installations in your area. These may include local building codes, fire codes, and utility company requirements. It's important to be aware of all applicable standards and regulations before starting any electrical work. You can usually find information about local codes and regulations at your city hall or county courthouse. You can also contact your local utility company for information about their requirements for electrical service. When you're planning an electrical project, it's a good idea to get a permit from your local building department. A permit ensures that your work will be inspected by a qualified electrical inspector. The inspector will make sure that your work meets all applicable codes and regulations. Getting a permit can also help you avoid problems when you sell your home. A potential buyer may be hesitant to purchase a home if there's evidence of unpermitted electrical work. In conclusion, safely running Romex above sheetrock ceilings requires careful attention to detail and adherence to the National Electrical Code. By understanding the potential hazards and following proper installation practices, you can protect your home and family from electrical shock and fire. If you're not comfortable performing electrical work yourself, always hire a qualified electrician. They have the training and experience to ensure that your wiring is safe and compliant. The National Electrical Code is your guide to electrical safety, providing detailed requirements for how to install wiring in a way that minimizes risk. Remember, proper planning, the right materials, and careful execution are key to a safe and reliable electrical system.